It is Friday. I have just come into the studio after running a couple of errands. And yeah, I am planning on having one of those days where I do a little bit of work on the confirmation. Yet again, I'm getting so close, but I still have a little ways to go. And then artwork this afternoon. I don't care what happens. I am stopping and I am doing artwork. So that is what is happening. So let's settle in and get started. Hi. It is several hours later. I probably look a total mess because I've just been sitting here working. I have just sent off new drafts of both the report and the PowerPoint presentation to my supervisors. So now I can get to art making. I'm so relieved. I know there will probably be more corrections, but we're one step closer. So I'm going to settle in for a bit of art making for the afternoon, and I am going to love it. All right. Let's get to it. Okay, just wanted to show you what I'm up to today. I've got the giant herbarium out, and I'm going to paint some more of these botanical specimens, sort of shadows that I've got going on. I don't know what to call them, but they're like the protective sheet with a sort of a different orientation of the specimen on them. I've got a few more of those to do. I'm so close to finishing this book, which is really exciting. So I'm going to get to it. And I hope you guys don't mind that I'm going to kind of use you guys as a reflective springboard for talking through what's going on with my artwork, because I find it really useful in being able to articulate what's going on for me and what my artwork is representing in terms of how it relates to my research. So my project is sort of all about this idea of layers of lineage and all the different lineages that are present in who I am as an artist and a maker and a woman. And so in making these works where I'm playing around with the direct experience of being with botanical forms and being with nature, and then creating different layers of representations of that, and it's in the process of doing these artworks that are derived from this first encounter with nature, I kind of am extending upon that experience of another layer of the construction of the way that I experience this spiritual connection to nature, because I really do. As I hang out with and play with all of these botanical samples and create these objects, I feel very connected to something larger than myself. I feel connected with nature. I feel connected with the plants. In some cases, I can still smell them. And I'm extending on that experience and magnifying that experience through making these additional layers to the way I relate to it. But the layers are also sort of a comment on just this general thing that happens within our culture as time goes on and history goes on. And if you learn about history, then you kind of absorb those stories and take them with you, which is, that there are so many different elements that go into how we relate to nature and our spirituality. And some of them may not even occur to you in an obvious way, but the thing that's been happening to me as I've been researching Louise Anne Meredith alongside creating these works that are kind of in a similar sphere to the sorts of subject matter that she painted, and also she worked with botanical samples as well and herbariums and was very involved in that culture. As I unpack that, I keep finding all these threads that I didn't know were there, that were kind of hidden from me. And one of those is very much around the thing that you cannot hide from when you live in a a country like Australia that was colonised by the British, that the land we live on is stolen. It was stolen from the Indigenous people of First Nations people of Australia. And my ancestors were among those who came here and took it. So that is a really big element of what I am investigating in this project, is this very unsettling layer of my lineage and what I do with that. Like I feel like that's kind of the lesson for the current generation, is what do we do with those feelings of unsettledness and recognition that our ancestors and our very presence here came of a process that actually, in my opinion, should never have happened. But here we are. And so a lot of these very big questions are coming up for me, and they are another layer to this lineage of who I am as an artist and a creator. And I feel like that layer is very much the layer of our generation, and the kinds of difficult things that our generation is coming to terms with. When I say our generation, I mean you may be a different generation to me. I'm 50, so you might be a generation younger, but I'm guessing if you're here watching my old face that you're probably around the same age and may relate to what I'm saying. Anyway, that's my ramble for today. Thanks for listening, because this is always really helpful in me figuring out what this project is about, because that's what practice-based research is. It's about being in the creative process and doing historical research and other kinds of research alongside making, and then seeing what comes of that in the creative process. And it's really, really interesting. So that's what I had to say for today. I'm going to get to making. Hi there guys, it is Thursday today and I've just come into the studio. I really have to knuckle down today on the confirmation of candidature stuff, so I'm going to listen to a recording of my supervision session for my presentation and just start making all of those little changes today. And hopefully also sneak in a little bit of painting time. I've been hoping I was going to get like a couple of weeks in between my last draft and when I do the presentation to just like solidly focus on artwork, but I think that's pipe dream and it's not going to happen. So I just need to get used to doing a little bit of this, a little bit of the artwork, which is kind of challenging for me with ADHD. I kind of tend to want to hyper focus on one or the other. But yeah, that is just what's going to have to happen. So I'm going to try and do that again today. I had a reasonably successful day doing that yesterday, but I didn't do enough of this. So I'm going to focus and try and just power through about an hour before lunch. And hopefully then I can melt into a bit of lovely painting. So I'm going to get to it. It is the end of the day. I have to go and get the kids from school. I literally haven't moved from the computer all day. I've been working on the PowerPoint presentation and haven't moved except to eat and go to the loo. So I didn't get art made today like I hoped, which is a bit of a bummer, but I have done my next round of edits on that. So that's really good because it was just a whole bunch of really fiddly stuff that takes forever to do, like correct image captions and making sure I've got dimensions of artworks and photography sources, all of that stuff that really matters for this kind of presentation. I'm unsure if I'm going to come in tomorrow. I could get into some artwork tomorrow, or I could go to Melbourne to pick up my new glasses, which have arrived back at the optometrist. I did something extremely middle-aged. I couldn't find another style of glasses that I liked better than the ones that I currently have. So I've actually just got the same glasses, but in black. So that's that bit of boring, but I do need to go and pick them up and get them fitted. So I may do that. I may come in, I don't know. Tomorrow I'm going to see how I feel and then make a decision. Anyway, I had better go get the kids and I will catch up with you soon. Hi there guys. It is Tuesday today and I've just come into the studio and found the sun beaming in after it was miserable and raining before, so that is lovely. It is probably, however, creating a slight flickering effect with the camera, as it likes to do when there's lots of bright white. So I apologise for that. There's not a lot I can do about it when the sun beams in. Yeah, so I was in the studio yesterday, but I didn't talk to the camera because I didn't feel like it. Sometimes I think that's the challenge for vlogging as an artist is there are days I'm super introverted and I don't really want to talk to the camera. So yesterday I didn't, and I'm hoping that that's okay with you because that's the way it's going to need to roll if I'm going to do this vlogging caper. So one thing I did do yesterday, which I haven't done, admittedly, this is actually a very shocking admission. I painted for the first time, actually easel painted for the first time in this studio yesterday. I've been in here for like 9 months and I've done a lot of different art projects and a lot of different watercolour and painting and all the botanical herbarium pressing, etc. But I haven't easel painted in the longest time. Well, that's not true. I have done it at home. I actually started this painting behind me yesterday when I was at home. But this studio actually has, this thing up here is actually an exhaust fan. So this studio is perfectly set up for painting in oils. And I've been meaning to take advantage of that for the longest time. And so it felt really good yesterday to actually do that. Not to mention that like something happens to me viscerally when I paint, when I easel paint. There's something about that particular form of art making that just instantly makes me feel myself again, which I guess is one of the reasons that I know that I'm an artist, I suppose. Anyway, so I finally got in a good painting session in here, which was great. So I did quite a bit of work on this painting behind me yesterday. So that's nearing completion. I've just got a couple of bits I want to do this morning. And then I also did a bit of work on this yesterday, a little bit on the accordion book. I did discover that I painted a couple of the sheets actually on the wrong side, which I'm still trying to decide if that matters too much. I'm still thinking about that, but I'm not far from finalising this and putting these fly leaves in and just making it so I can actually close this book. So hopefully over the next couple of days, I'll make some decisions there and complete that. But I think I'm going to stick with oil painting today because I'm really feeling the vibe, and I feel kind of a little bit low mood this week. So I feel like doing some oil painting is going to be the trick for me. So I'm going to jump on into it. Hello, how are you all today? And I have supervision very shortly, so I have just popped into the studio and I'm going to do a little tidy and then have my meeting and then hopefully get to some painting this afternoon. I have amazing news. I have actually submitted my report to the Graduate Research School yesterday afternoon, so that is complete and sent off. That, and also the PowerPoint is complete, so I feel very excited that that is done, and I can just have a break from thinking about it for a couple of weeks and make artwork and start thinking about where I'm headed with this project in a more detailed way and in a way that doesn't get overtaken by needing to prepare for that, because I feel like I'm ready to start the next chapter of this project. So I'm going to have my supervision and then I'm going to get onto some creative work and planning for what's coming forward in the future. So this afternoon, I'm hoping that I'm going to get a chance to put the fly leaves into the sketchbook with some hinging tape so that it can actually be closed. Yeah, so I think that might be something I do this afternoon. I'm also hoping to get a bit of oil painting done. We'll see how I go for time. I actually really don't know which one of those I will end up doing if I don't do both. Let's see. Anyway, happy Friday, happy whatever day it is for you. And yeah, let's get to it. ask you guys if you had any questions for me or anything that you would like me to talk about in an upcoming video, because I'm thinking I might record a bit of a Q&A. I'm really curious to know what people want to know about what I'm doing with this research master's degree. I feel like there are some people who are very curious about that. I think there might be people maybe interested in how I've kind of found this transition into academic work from the professional artwork that I have been doing for the last decade of my life. So if there's questions there, I'm really happy to answer them. Basically, just let me know what you're interested in knowing, and I'll do a little Q&A and answer some of those in a future episode. Hey everyone, just popping in because I realized when I was editing that I never said goodbye. So I just wanted to say thanks for joining me for the vlog about balancing the creative and academic work in my master's. It's an ongoing challenge. You'll see here behind me the painting that I will be talking about and showing you the progress of in next week's video. So be sure to come and tune in for that one. Thank you so much for being here. If you've stayed till the end, why don't you give me a pencil emoji or a pen, something to do with writing, maybe a book, whatever's easy for you. But it's always fun to know who stays until the end. So just pop that in there. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed already, please do, because there is lots more great content coming your way over the next little while. And yeah, I look forward to showing you more about this one next week. All right, take care. I'll catch you next time. Bye.